purging is at last at hand. The day of doom is here. All that is evil, all that are lies, your parents, your ears, those who would call themselves your judges, those who have lied and corrupted the earth, they shall all be cleansed.
Okay, is this thing working? Are we on? Are we on? Let's see. We got Al Muhtasim. Let's make you speaker. Let's make you speaker, good sir. Give me a moment. Send me a request as well. Send me a request as well. Goyim Fatigue. Venezuela-US War Edition. We're going to call it that. We're going to call it that, and we're going to fly with that. Let's see what happens. Okay, good sir. Send me a request, please. Okay. Mic check. All right, good sir. You are in Chile. How goes it there?
Dude, I'm just waking up.
Oh, you just woke up, eh?
Yeah, no, an hour ago. I didn't check Twitter or anything, so I just got in Twitter and I saw some Chilean rightists posting like Trump is the best or whatever, and I thought, what?
Are they doing this thing? Are they doing this thing where they're like, okay, war is amazing again, and yeah, man, we're killing commies
Yeah,
again.
I
We're
mean,
the best. Bro, are they
I
like,
mean,
what the fuck, man? This is like 20
Chilean
years ago, right?
rightists, our
They've
rightists.
taken, bro, they've taken a time machine back 20 years, and now it's all this bullshit of like, yeah, man, war is cool again, and oh my gosh, look at Delta Force, bro. They captured Maduro, and by the way, all of this is
Yeah,
unverified. We don't know if this is
exactly.
true.
This
Yeah,
shit is like cinematic
yeah,
or whatever. Like,
yeah.
why the fuck did they capture Maduro? But anyway, what's like interesting or fun or stupid or whatever is that like Chilean rightoids are like they take their shit directly
Oh, bro,
from
bro,
Marxist
bro, bro. They are the
They post
Chilean
in English.
rightoids, dude.
Half of what they
The
post is English, or they use
yeah,
like the concept of lux maxing. Like
yeah,
nobody here will ever understand that, but these guys do this.
yeah.
And they are now, of course, celebrating, but it's completely stupid because their main supposed political cause of these guys is to get Venezuelans out of the country. So with war in Venezuela, I think the opposite is gonna happen. We're gonna get a fucking 2 more million Venezuelans in here. So I don't know
Yeah,
what the
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
they're celebrating, but of course they're gloating.
I don't
They're
even,
completely,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand what you're
they're
saying. I don't
captured.
even think that's gonna, yeah, like, bro, I don't even think that's gonna happen. Like, okay, they're saying all this stuff about they captured Maduro and whatever, and let's assume they're correct. I mean, Saddam Hussein was removed in like, what, 6 weeks? You should
Yeah.
ask, George Bush Jr., hey man, did the Iraq War stop when you removed Saddam Hussein and the entire Ba'athist army collapsed and they all surrendered? Newsflash, it did not, right? Okay, Sir Arnav Jindal is here from Mumbai, India. Let's see what he's got to say. All right, we got this, bro. Good, Sir Arnav, send me a request, please. I can make you a speaker. But no, we're just shooting the shit with regard to what's happening. Okay, trolley problem enjoyer is here. Good Sir is here as well. Okay, Spaces is beginning to fill up. Let's see what the turnout is tonight. The highest we ever got was like 600 people at once, right? So maybe it's going to be a smaller Spaces tonight, but let's see if Sir Malcolm shows up. If he does, we're going to get the bigger Spaces, right? But no, gentlemen, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of bullshit with regard to war is amazing again. Don't worry, guys. This time for sure. Pinky promise that decapitation strike, which has never worked in the history of our employing it. I guess you can say Grenada worked or whatever, right? But don't worry, guys. This time it's gonna work, right? And you're seeing the same shit again, right? It's just like, oh dear. Okay. Oh, did I cut off?
No,
That's not good. Okay, I'm good. All right, good.
yeah,
Uh,
you're good. No, I was just thinking that I don't know. I mean, maybe you're right. Like of course, this doesn't change shit, and the Americans will not win, whatever that means. But what is true for sure is that we'll lose. So I don't know if I'm in such a great mood because I don't care if like Venezuela becomes the theater where finally the gringos are exposed for their weakness or whatever. Either way, they're gonna fuck us over the whole continent. So this is not good news.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, in the
it's
short
gonna be
term,
pretty bad.
long term,
Yeah,
it's
yeah. Oh,
good
Sir
news for
Otter is here.
everyone.
Sir Otter
But
is here.
for
Yeah, yeah,
everyone who has to go day
yeah. Mhm.
day to day, this just it's bad news, man.
I honestly, man, if America is gonna die to like mass migration from like Latin America, let it die that way, right? All right, Sir Otter is here. I'm gonna approve. All right, Sir Otter from somewhere in Europe. And what do we got here? We got Absurd Ruka. All right, we got Absurd Ruka, and we got who else is requesting? We got. Okay, I'm gonna approve everyone. I'm just gonna approve everyone. Whatever, man. Just shoot the shit. Don't worry about it. All right, Sir Otter, you're up first.
Okay,
Uh,
I'm
what are you?
shocked.
Are you shocked,
I'm shocked. Yeah,
bro?
I
There was
thought
a
I thought
blockade,
he was
man.
going to be chest
Bro,
thumping
bro,
on this,
bro,
but I didn't think he
bro,
would
bro,
actually do
bro,
it. Are you kidding?
bro, bro. Why were you shocked, man? There's a fucking blockade on the country. Like a blockade is the step right before war, right?
Sure,
Uh,
sure.
yeah. You
But
thought he was
you
actually
know,
gonna pussy out?
America's often
Yeah,
flexing,
yeah.
threatening, and then Maduro wanted to make a deal, so I thought that was going to happen. I thought they were going to sit down and hash it out.
Nah, man. Come on. You know America, man. They wanna like make a theatrical spectacle out of the whole thing,
Oh,
right?
especially the Trump admin, especially.
Yeah, bro. Exactly, exactly, man. Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
no,
All
they've
right.
given up on the idea of having any sense of decorum about things. They don't care if the international community will say, "Well, hey, you want to negotiate?" No, no, that's all behind us for sure. You're right.
Bro, listen, listen, listen. It's so fucking fake and gay. Listen, man. Right? It's like they're doing this replay of the Iraq, shock and awe thing of like we're gonna decapitate Maduro and we're gonna fly his wife and whatever the fuck and him to New York State and we're gonna do this like thing where we're gonna indict him on drugs. By the
In
way, you
brute
can't do
force.
that. Yeah, by the way, you can't do that. International law says that if the jurisdiction of an individual is within a certain country, you can't just randomly teleport him to another country and be like, oh, hey man, the laws here are different. Now we're gonna try you using our laws. That's not how this works, right? So anyhow, let's take that small thing to the side for a second. But they're doing this whole playbook. I mean, I'm looking at conflicting reports. I'm just assuming, for the sake of argument, all the Americans are speaking the truth, right? Which is a big ask, right? But let's say all of them are speaking
I
the
don't
truth.
think
Okay,
so. Like I personally don't think that they
yeah.
can get him so early. Like in the first strike itself, you get it. I don't really believe it.
Yeah, so Arnold, I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying, okay, for the sake of argument, let's assume all of them are speaking the truth, right? Okay, what does that mean? It means Maduro has been flown over wherever the fuck, right? The interior minister is still in the country. He's broadcasting messages of like, hey man, we're gonna do an attritional war against you now, right? And oh, by the way, this other guy's gonna become the president or whatever. Like, this is just, man, what is this crap, right? This is like, okay, fight us in the jungles and we'll just bleed you to death there, right? After your shock and awe thing, right? Like, okay, a bunch of goyim and Westoids are gonna moo loudly about, oh my gosh, we killed a bunch of commies. And then 6 months later, Americans are gonna be dying in the jungles, man. I mean, it's just like, whatever, right?
I hope your prediction's right on that. I hope they get dragged into another forever war. I
That's
hope
what's
it's
gonna
not
happen, bro.
actually
Like,
even.
at this
We got
point, that's what's gonna happen. Like, Iraq was a fucking summer picnic. Iraq was like flat, farmland, grassland, everything, right?
It's a
And,
really bad precedent if America gets away with this one.
they're not going to. Look, they couldn't even take Iraq. Okay, Iraq was completely flat. They had 200,000 Kurds literally beg the Americans, hey, please, Saddam Hussein killed our moms and daughters or whatever using chemical weapons, right? Please let us fight on your side. They got the proxy force. They got all the militias. They literally got access via Kuwait, rather, to positioned tanks on the border. They got all of that. In 6 weeks, they toppled the government. They captured Saddam in like, I don't know, week 8 or week 9, right? The entire fucking Ba'athist government surrendered, right? This was America 20 years ago, okay? America still couldn't win in Iraq. Do you really think they can do anything in fucking Venezuela, which is like, I don't know, triple the size of Iraq, literally has jungles everywhere, right? 30 million people. I mean, this is a complete basket case, man. Like, I don't have to be a military whiz to figure this out. I can look at a bunch of mathematics. I can go, okay, this many people on group A, this many people on group B. Here's how it's gonna go. Do some math. That's the outcome, right? Okay, brother
You have
Naji's
to
here.
assume that they maybe have a color revolution in mind. Now that Maduro's gone, maybe they're going to.
Bro, they had a color revolution, man. Like, they had one in 2002.
Yeah,
They had
I
one in
remember
2000.
that.
Yeah, like Maduro, like before Maduro, you had Chavez, right? Chavez was flown out of the country by the Americans, right? They had a color revolution. They
Yeah.
tried to replace him. Yeah, bro, like brother Naji knows what I'm talking about, man. Like, you actually opened up the history books and read it, right? You actually read what happened.
Yeah, man.
Okay, let us know what happened in 2002. Let everyone know. Let the audience know.
I got you, man. I got you. So, good morning, everybody. This is an interesting space for sure. So I remember in my community college international relations class, which was one of the best classes I've ever taken in my life, we had this wacky journalist guy in Columbus, Ohio, and he was too lefty, anti-establishment, anti-imperialist to be hired at somewhere like Ohio State. But we did a whole day or two, I remember, on Chavez and on the Bolivarian Revolution, and how essentially there was some kind of CIA fomented,
Mm-hmm.
although they claimed that it wasn't the CIA, but some CIA fomented coup that was kind of soft. And initially there were protests against Chavez nationalizing the oil industry. And he pulled like a very soft, like a diet Saddam Hussein, where he went live on camera and was like, "Hey, board director of this giant oil conglomerate, you're fired. Oh, this next board director, you're fired. Next," and he just like kicked them all out. And so, obviously there was a lot of people that were affected negatively, a lot of the elite class, a lot of the rich oligarchs. So they got some of their people and they got some funding and they probably had help from the CIA, and they took to the streets. And I'm sure there were tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of protesters, and they marched towards the Capitol. And
Mm-hmm.
Maduro got his guys, which he had just won a popular election. They just
Mm-hmm.
created an entire constitution. He got like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people out on the streets. And so those two groups clashed. There was some shooting, there was some things, but essentially the military said, we're not going to intervene. We can't put down these anti-Chavez protesters for you. We've had negative experiences with that kind of shit in the past. So then what happened was, Chavez got surrounded in the presidential palace, and there was essentially rumblings of a soft coup, and people, business leaders, church leaders, all of these groups, military leaders were like, well, if there's going to be a coup, we need our piece. So they all started to kind of form around, getting Chavez and doing the
Mm-hmm.
coup and getting their own little piece of the pie. Eventually,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
military and probably the CIA went to Chavez, took him in the presidential palace, put him on a helicopter, and flew him out to an island military base. And
Mm-hmm.
then the entire country erupted. They were like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And now millions of people
Yeah,
are in the
yeah, yeah,
streets,
yeah.
and they were just like, "Fuck all of you. We're not, go to hell, new business leader president who you just unilaterally declared yourself like a
Yeah,
authoritarian
yeah, yeah,
president."
yeah.
They took him. They, threw him out, and they had to fly Chavez back, or else the entire country was about to erupt in a massive conflagration.
But by the
Yes.
way, all of that's true. By the way, all of that's true. Here's the thing. Why did America return Chavez back, right? It's very simple, right? They didn't do it because, oh my gosh, we just had a change of heart. Us Americans, we're big hearted. No, that's not the reason. The reason is, now that their guy had failed in 2002, they're like, okay, well, if this country falls apart, what happens? Well, you've got Colombia and you've got Mexico, right? Colombia is kind of a basket case. Half the country is run by actual armed drug militias. Mexico, well, they're not really cooperating that well with us. What happens if those two also succumb to internal fissures? Well, we have millions of people pour into the borders, right? This was 2002, by the way.
Yeah.
infrastructure and all these other things were far lower, right? And again, that's the thing. It's like this calculation was what made them go, okay, we really can't fucking do anything, right? We basically have to backtrack on this, right? Which, by the way, I mean, had history played out differently, it could have been the case that if they had succeeded in Venezuela back then, they would have like gone deeper into Latin America rather than going to Iraq, right? Back in the day, right? Because they wanted something else to do. But no, like that's what I see, gentlemen. I mean, I'm just like, I'm not impressed by this. I'm just like, this is one of those situations where you've got this guy who's making a lot of noise. He's not really carrying a big stick, right? And he just wants people to be scared of him. And I'm not, I'm not convinced by this, right? Let's see what Sir Malcolm is up to. Okay. Let's see what Sir Malcolm is up to. I love reading his takes. Okay. This war, quote unquote, might actually be a form of American capitulation. The force deployment had to be ended at some point. The US had to shit or get off the pot. They're leaving the entire government in place and telling us they're not going to do further strikes. Yeah, I mean, the interior minister is in the country, man. I mean, they have not removed him, right? Okay. The black magic of no longer daring to conduct bombing campaigns using fixed-wing aircraft, instead relying on a constantly dwindling inventory of 30-plus-year-old standoff munitions that the U.S. can't even afford to replace. Yeah, I mean, that's what this is, man. Like, that's what this is. It's like you're going after a country which is dirt poor. It literally cannot afford basic stuff. You're like, all right, we're going to do this shock and awe thing. We literally are not going to even succeed in the decapitation event. And how do we know that? Our own sources tell you that the interior minister and all these other guys are still alive and whatever, right? And this is just a big fat mess, man. This is just a big fat mess.
One
Go ahead, man.
Go
Go ahead.
ahead. Go ahead, Sarna.
no, I was just saying that credit to Sir Malcolm because he was saying this in what October, September, like that time where
Yeah.
there were bases and everyone was like, oh, it's not possible and whatnot. Like they really did it. So like one thing you have to credit in that way. But the second thing is, even if we take the most utopian situation for the Americans in this, what else are they going to get in Venezuela? Like except for oil, which not really, but like other than that, what else is the advantage for them?
They can't even grab, like, here's the hilarious thing, right? Here's the hilarious thing. They can't even grab the oil, even if they wanted to, right? Like, how many times have we heard this? We've heard this a lot. Oh, Iraq was about oil, right? Iraq was about oil. If you actually look at whether they succeeded, they failed, man, right? The Kurds helped them topple the government, right? Saddam Hussein was removed. It was a Sunni minority government, right? What ended up happening was the Shia majority, which had been shackled for so long, was unleashed, right? They launched these brutal purges and whatnot against the Sunnis, right? America gets a shocked Pikachu face. Oh my gosh, what is happening, bro? The country's falling apart, right? And then the all these like Halliburton or whatever, like Shell, BP, yeah, their stock prices went up, but in terms of actual excavation, they didn't get any done, bro. Like they didn't get their people on the ground and do actual like projects and drilling or whatever. And do you know why? It's because people were shooting one another on the ground, right? Turns out it's pretty difficult to do excavation and whatnot when there's a fucking civil war in the country, right? And this is the thing, it's like, well, we're gonna extract Venezuelan oil. How are you gonna do that, bro? How are you gonna do that, right? Because you're not doing it with the 15 or 20,000 or so Delta Force or Special Force or whatever you got there, man, right? So
Yeah.
this is a complete farce, man. It's a complete farce. Let's wait and see what happens with regard to. Yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, just to piggyback, I think there's a level of Trump wants, like you said, to shit or get off the pot. So he
Yeah,
gets
yeah,
a
yeah.
big photo op. He gets to say, "Look at our Delta forces flying in the Caracas, snatch and grab. We're the most powerful. We're cool. Iran, beware. We could do this to you. Blah, all this cape shit." Okay. Two, the interesting thing is that as you mentioned, the interior minister is still in the country. The whole Maduro government's still there. They literally took two people out of the country, though his wife and him.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
is that? Doesn't mean any. That literally does not mean
It's
anything.
bro.
Like
They literally, bro. They removed two people from the country. Meanwhile, compare that to Iraq, right? They executed Saddam Hussein, right? The entire Ba'athist army. I never understood this like weird Twitter thing, right? It's like either it's just an army of bots or it's like a bunch of paid influencers. Oh my gosh, bro, Venezuela. Dude, what are you talking about, man? Venezuela's not collapsing. And like Dugan, right? Like Dugan's being a retard again. I'm like, dude, relax, man.
Yeah,
You
here's a
know,
penchant for that.
dear, yeah, bro, like relax. Like this is warfare, right? In warfare, everyone dies. It's not just leadership. It's not just like military. This happens, man. I mean, if you wanna evaluate an actual battlefield, you gotta go step by step and be very, very ice cold and cool headed with regard to what's happening, right?
Right. So
And then,
here, I mean, yeah,
yeah,
no,
go
I
ahead, man.
100%. Here's the thing that I see. Maduro, he knew that obviously the United States is more powerful than Venezuela, and there's all kinds of economic issues, and he has maybe a popular mandate, maybe he fudged the elections a little bit. He still has a good deal of support from the masses in Venezuela. Okay, but
Hmm.
why not just make a deal with the U.S.? I mean, they already have Chevron in the country. Why not? We'll give you 30% or something instead of whatever we give now, 10%. Oh, make a deal. It'll be mutually beneficial. We can get out from under some of these sanctions. We'll have more oil money. You'll get more oil. You get more control over oil resources, just not all of it. Well, we'll do that. He literally was saying this like last March, okay? Like not a
Hmm.
whole long time ago, right after Trump got elected. And so what is stopping the Venezuelan government from just doing that now, right? What's stopping the Maduro government that no longer has Maduro from doing the exact same thing, saying, hey, we're willing to give you a little bit of a better deal. You got our guy. Um, but you're not going to control our country or our resources. We're still going to maintain control and you'll get a little better deal. And this is how life will go on. And your Maria Corina Machado lady, who's a psychotic Israeli war freak, she's gonna stay in Norway or wherever the fuck she is
Norway, yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
We'll let her
Bro, she's
cool
not
out over
she's
there.
not even in the country.
And the
Bro, she's not
craziest
even in the
part,
country.
when think about
Yeah.
this, the craziest part about this shows you how the unbelievable either lack of planning or it being a complete farce. She was evacuated from the country like 3 weeks ago. So if they were
Yeah.
planning to take Maduro out and they're waiting for the opportunity, or maybe he gave himself up, maybe they still needed to confirm with his government or the military that, hey, we'll give you Maduro, just don't blow the hell out of our oil infrastructure, whatever, right?
Hmm.
Why wouldn't they just wait to take her out and then just show her have the Venezuelan military, if they co-opted them, bring her to the presidential palace and say, see, look at this, the champion of peace has arrived and all is well. They didn't even do that, man. They're fucking retarded. They brought this bitch to Norway for no apparent reason. Like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
this is all. We have to see how it plays out. But at this point, man, my base case is either that this shit is essentially a nothing burger. The U.S. signs somewhat of a deal for some oil rights or something.
It's not a nothing burger. It's not a
Right.
nothing burger for the simple reason that it's military aggression, and military
Sure.
aggression always has a consequence, right? But I'm very skeptical about this whole like
More of a
color
relative nothing.
revolution.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this, guys, and I'm just going. This is just like it's
Or yeah,
I
no, exactly, and or
yeah,
the
yeah,
second thing, Ahnaf, real fast. This could
yeah,
descend. It could descend. It's possible that it descends into chaos, just like when Chavez was taken out, and then you have rival groups within the military, within the government, within the opposition, within the business community. All of these people vying for power, and then it could descend into chaos. Either way, that's a worse scenario for the U.S. because, as you correctly pointed out, you can't fucking drill for oil when people are shooting RPGs and mortars all over the goddamn place. So,
yeah.
like, it's just I pray to God it doesn't descend into a miserable nightmare, civil conflict, because Venezuela's already fairly poor and they've already had such horrific last 5-10 years. So, but we'll
It'll
see.
be
This
rough.
is
It'll be rough. It'll be
this
rough.
is
Yeah.
anecdotal, but I've met some Venezuelans overseas, and they all say it's bad, but not as bad as the Western press says.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
what I've been
Yeah.
told. Spreading that out to you guys.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes some
Oh, yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
That makes sense. That makes sense.
obviously, I think. Well, and there's a level of a lot of the elites left and a lot of the very poor left, And so you have like a weird hybrid of like kind of poor blue collar workers and like some few oligarchs left and a few business people. But I mean, I don't know how many millions of Venezuelans have left in the last decade, especially since the sanctions in 2019. It's got to be like 10 million, like some insane number. Like there are millions more Venezuelans in Colombia, let alone the Venezuelans who came north or went to
I don't
Brazil.
think it's
Or
10 mil, but
it's
it
a
is in the
shitload.
millions for
It
sure.
is, yeah, it's like a lot though. So you know,
It's a couple million. It's a couple million, right? But
yeah,
it's not like some crazy people say it's 10 million. I don't think it's 10 million, right?
no, but
Um,
maybe 3-4 million. I mean, that's still a huge chunk. That's like almost 10. That's probably 10% of the
on
population.
the high end, on the high
Right,
end, yeah.
right, sure.
The thing is, right? The thing is, right? Here's the deal. Okay, we have to zoom out a bit and think about the big picture. All right, so let's say it's a brute attritional contest, right? And a couple 100,000 Venezuelans die due to sanctions, warfare, the usual thing, right? Okay, what is the outcome? The outcome is America, which is in 38, $39 trillion in debt, it zooms past 40, 45, $50 trillion very, very quickly, right? And then it just falls apart, right? It's like you're in a boxing match, right? You're in a boxing match, right? The guy is just going at it, going at it, going at it, going at it. But you can see the tempo of his breathing, right? You can see it. You can see it even in the audience that there's something wrong here. There's something wrong here, right? And then he's gonna break in his tempo, and then you counterattack, right? And that's what this is, man. It's like, do I think that a lot of Venezuelans are gonna die? Probably that's true, right? Especially if this escalates further, right? But America is not going to get out of this unscathed, man. I mean, we are not in 2003. We're not in like, okay, well, the debt is only this much. We have a shit ton of money. And oh, we have this surplus equipment from like the end of the Cold War that was just sitting all over in storage, waiting for us to use them before they expired. And what are we going to do? We're going to use it in Iraq in a shock and awe style, right? None of that's true right now, right? And so this entire spectacle, theater, or whatever it is that Drumpf is up to, he better hope that this is only spectacle and theater, right? Because if it's anything bigger than that, right, and it's something like, okay, well, we're actually going to try and have the Machado lady or whoever it is in the government, and we're going to put her in there by force. Yeah, bros. I mean, I don't think, like what? How long did it take for the Americans to get kicked out of Iraq? Like a decade or so. I don't think it's going to take a decade
Less
for them.
like
Yeah,
seven and a
probably
half years. Yeah.
7.5 years until like the Civil War. Yeah, okay. It's not going to take 7.5 years, man. It's not going to take that long. Right. So, I'll move the same. Good sir, you're in Chile. The rightards are cheering in Chile. What are the leftards saying? Are they saying that America is all powerful? Oh,
Yeah, yes, they are. Yes, they are. No, I mean,
it's so
like,
predictable, bro. It's so predictable. Yeah.
yeah,
I only say that because I've come to the realization that whether it's the lefties or the righties, both of them are just rehashing, right? Like for them, 1991 happened, America won the Cold War, and everything after that has just been them trying to justify and re-justify why they're relevant to the world, right? And so the lefties are like, oh my gosh, America's the great Satan, America's all powerful. And then the righties are like, oh my gosh, America's all powerful. America kills commies, right? And that's all they got, man. Like they can't view the world outside of that frame of reference, right? So when they see this like performative theater against Venezuela, right, where they literally fail in regime change, they're just like, yeah, man, we killed a bunch of commies or whatever the fuck, right? They don't like pause, take a deep breath, and go, okay, what are the military implications of this, right? Like strictly speaking, what are the military implications of this, right?
yeah. No,
I mean,
nobody's thinking about this. The whole discourse right now is like a vibes war because
Yeah. Bro, the entire fucking what's that stupid thing? Like, oh my gosh, the immigrants from the third world, man, they're coming to Europe and America, and they're turning this place into a third world shithole, and the Bengalis and the Indonesians, man, they pollute the lands and whatever, and this, that, and the other thing, and all that they do, is talk all day about how oppressed they are, and then the moment Trump starts randomly bombing Venezuela, they're like, yeah, man, war is so amazing. This is such a fucking shit show, man. It's like, dude, you're not fooling anyone, okay? You're not fooling anyone. You're just a bunch of goyim. You're just a bunch of Zok cattle, right? Your master is Israel. Your master is America. Get the fuck out of here, right?
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
not fooling anyone, man.
That's what's going on right
Yeah.
now. I mean, in the discourse, it's
Yeah, bro.
only like slop from one side to the other, and the rightoids are just
Yeah, bro.
gloating because they've just won Chile, and now they've got this axis that is like Milei in Argentina and Trump and Cast in
They
Chile
didn't
and
even,
so on.
yeah, but
And
bro,
they're just so like, oh wow, we told you it was gonna be over. They're like this captive dreamer level of intellectual debate.
yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Sir Carolina Lion posted this. He essentially said this isn't. It's all about trying to disrupt China's oil supplies, and so at some level, the blockade was the first act. Okay, and I remember I called the blockade a long time ago. I said they're probably just going to blockade Venezuela, maybe try to, and then the second act is just trying to destabilize the regime, right? So they think that they could maybe somehow destabilize this Maduro government by plucking him and his wife out in the middle of the night, doing literally nothing else, uh, and they think that
Mhm.
that's maybe gonna. So I can see that there'll be more actions, but you can already see, as you both have rightly pointed out, this is Hollywood. There's no plan. There's no way that they're actually going to install a new dictator, like
Bro, how are
Pinochet or
they?
some
How are they
shit.
going to, bro?
It doesn't make any sense.
Bro, let's keep it very simple. Okay, suppose you have to convince someone that this Machado lady in Norway, who America says should be the president, needs to be installed. Okay, bro, what is the logistical, physical way that you make her president? Like,
Yeah,
answer that question
you
for
have
me,
to
bro. Answer that question for
you
me.
have to co-opt the military.
Yeah,
That's the only way.
the reason I don't believe in this like regime change stuff, because the reason I don't believe in that stuff anymore is because I literally view that as like QAnon stuff now. I'm just like, hey man, trust the plan, bros. Like like QAnon's like, oh my gosh, patriots are in control, whatever, right? The mirror image of that are like these people who always believe, oh my gosh, America is the evil mastermind who's got the evil plan to ultimately like conquer and subjugate. Dude, no, that's not true. Look at this shit. The Machado lady is in Norway. How the fuck are they gonna fly her into Venezuela and like change? There's no way to do this. There's no
So
fucking plan
funny, man.
here. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
hilarious.
I'm
It's
on
it's like
team
this
no
is
plan. I'm definitely I'm firmly on team no
I've
plan on
always
this one.
been I've always been on team. There is no fucking plan. There's literally no. How the fuck are they gonna fly her in from Norway, dump her into Venezuela? Like not just the military, right? Let's say the entire military collapses tomorrow and they all surrender. How the fuck are they gonna stop her from getting assassinated by some random terrorist, right? At like 3 a.m. at night, right? Literally impossible, right? And so it's like I'm looking at this crap, right? And I'm just going to quote Sir Malcolm here because I think he gets the gist of it, right? Okay. The main lesson of the war, quote unquote, so far is that Americans are stupid, brainless fucking cattle who are liable to fall victim to even the most basic jangling of the keys, which is literally what we're seeing, man. We're seeing jangling of the keys from the rightoid goyim who are like, yeah, killing commies, war, all of that shit's amazing, right? And then we're seeing the leftoids are like, oh my gosh, America is the great Satan. It was always a plan, and here's like the 5D chess plan to checkmate China using like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Right? What are you talking about?
No,
Yeah,
they're flying at the edge of their pants,
yeah,
man.
dude.
They're trying desperately
Yeah,
to, you know, get whatever scraps of resources or create
yeah.
some kind of cape shit, you know, that they can at least sell to their public to kick the can down the road when,
They
you
want
know,
to
they have to print
show,
a bajillion
yeah, bro,
dollars,
bro,
and
bro.
it's just all bullshit.
Exactly, man. Exactly. They want to show everyone that, you know, the evil, ruthless, fascist, whatever, nationalist, blah, 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 dictator, oh my gosh, Trump. Yes, Trump is all of those things, right? They want to do that for two reasons, right? They've got the jangling of the keys aspect, as Sir Malcolm was saying, for the rightoid goyim and Zog right? But they also want to do it for the leftoid, like, opponents who are like, oh my gosh, Trump, the fascist dictator, blah, blah, blah. It's all cattle, man. It's left cattle, it's right cattle. Cattle to the left, cattle to the right. Cattle to the left, cattle to the right, right? That's what you're dealing with, right? That's what you're dealing with. And it's sad to watch, but it is what it is. I mean, you know, George Bush the Jr., he had that mission accomplished thing or whatever the fuck. Trump will probably do something similar, right? And we'll get the same attritional bullshit again, right? Uh, because there's no outcome in which America wins this, right? It's literally physically impossible to win in Venezuela with the force disposition, with the actual objectives, military objectives that they've set, with the actual like, okay, well, here's what we would have to overcome, etc., etc., etc. It does not exist, man. It does not exist, right? So that's what that is. All right, let's see who else is talking here. I'm just seeing what the messages are popping up. Okay. Philip Lemoyne. Uh, Philip Lemoyne. Okay, this is just a Zog cattle. All right, so Sir Malcolm is just responding to the Zog cattle. Let's see what he says. Oh, Americans are getting fooled right now. That much is true. Too bad about the rest of the analysis. Oh man, yeah. Well, like a lot of Zog cattle are coming out. They're like, you know, if you fuck around with America, you're gonna find out what happened to like Miloslav, that guy from Serbia, and what happened to Saddam Hussein.
Milosevic
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Saddam and all this.
All that
Dude,
bullshit, man. All that bullshit.
unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, how is it even possible? Like they did a what? They did a hundred plus day bombing campaign of Serbia.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
did like they you know they had a Bosnian war, three and a half years of Bosnian Serb
Hmm.
war. There was war between Croats and Serbs. There hasn't been a single bullet fired in Venezuela yet. Like, and these people are already gloating over victory. How do you? How can you even rationalize with such
Oh, you don't,
goyim
bro.
slop? Like, it's just crazy.
Well, that's the thing. You can't rationalize it, right? That's the thing. Because, like, if you're dealing with cattle and not actual human beings, right, all they care about are emotional stimuli, right? So, yeah. Wait for it
Jesus
to die down
Christ.
a bit. Wait for it to die down a bit and see what they say. But, like, what? January the 3rd? Yeah, January the 3rd. So, probably
Yeah.
middle of this,
Give it the end of the month. Yeah.
end of the month. You're very,
Just for people end of the month, just for people to realize that nothing really changed.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
yeah, 6 to 8 months to realize that they're not actually going to,
Do anything.
you know,
Yeah.
the Cape shit was all Cape shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and it's just like they're in the big fucking quicksand. Yeah. So 6 to 8 months to realize they're in the big fucking quicksand. 1 month to realize this is all fucking Cape shit and General Bikis. Yeah, fair enough. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Roughly the same timeline as Iraq, basically, right? Because with Iraq, I think the big turning point in Iraq was the Battle of Fallujah, I think, where like they had like 100 something dead Americans and British troops, 600 something wounded unsanitaries and whatever, and I think they barely eked out some kind of outcome which they called a victory, right? And that was like what, a city, not even a city, a town of like two fifty,
It was
300.
200.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So give it till
I mean,
then.
but let's not get carried away. Like, that's not even, I mean, at this point, it's not even an Iraq scenario, right? They haven't sent any ground troops. They haven't done any shock and awe bombing. They, you know, did what, couple bombs here and there, maybe 10 airstrikes.
Mm.
Like, Iraq, they used, what, 500 airstrikes on the first night? Like, this is not even anywhere close to the same level of Iraq yet, even. So it's like, I think they're just trying to destabilize. They're just trying to get a better oil deal or some shit. It's all just like,
Mhm.
God damn. People, yeah, people are on the right and the left are just eating this up like America is the great. the great mastermind of evil and they can do whatever they want and international law is dead. It's like you guys children? Like I don't understand.
They're smoking their own supply, man. They're smoking their own supply, right? And I think like I used to have a theory on why I thought that, but I think the simplest explanation works in this case, which is that they cannot imagine a world where America does not exist anymore, right? That's really the reason. And without them viewing America as the great Satan who controls everything, their worldview simply collapses. I think that's the simplest explanation. I
Yeah.
think that's the one that works here, right?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who are have deep vested interests, just like the Pakistani military has a deep vested interest to make India seem like the devil, and the Indian military has the exact same interest. You know, there's plenty of people around the world, especially anti-imperialist folks, who, you know, God bless them, but some of the time they get carried away, and if there
Mm-hmm.
was no great Satan, they would probably lose a lot of followers, or, you know.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, I mean, I'm very like, you know, I'm very what's the word I'm looking for? Bored by like the discourse I'm seeing right now. It reminds me of like Iraq 2.0 all over again, right? And until I see something different, I'm just gonna keep calling this jangling of the keys and cape shit, right? I'm just calling it like
Yeah.
I see it, and I'm not gonna apologize. I think this is all cape shit.
It's the same. You know, we don't even have to go as far back as Iraq. You can just look at Yemen, man. That was this year. That was literally this spring.
Yeah,
Like it's this past year. They did the exact same thing. They showed up with a bunch of ships.
yeah,
They did a few strikes. They tried to decapitate, you know, they tried to get Abdul Malik al-Houthi.
yeah,
And you know, they killed maybe, I don't know, probably 100 Houthi fighters. They killed
yeah.
maybe one or two middle rank leaders, and then they got driven out. They had to go home. They were tired, they were sick, they were seasick. They were, you know, sad that
I
they were
never
far away
understood
from their,
this. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I
from
never
their five
fucking
guys, you know.
yeah, bro. But like I never understood this fucking thing. It's like, you know, like oh, I'm trying to remember what it was called. I think it was called like the droid theory of warfare, which is like if you just kill the head droid, all the other droids just fall on the ground lifeless. And it seems to be the same thing that they always think about like Maduro or like Ansarallah or like, oh, you know, if we just take out the big guy, the government will simply collapse. And why is that true? Well, it's because the government isn't legitimate to begin with. It is such a random, shitty thing to say. I'm like, dude, just because the government isn't a democracy doesn't mean that people don't have a legitimate view of it, right? And that's the thing. It's like, okay, so you kill this many leaders. Okay, fine. They'll just reconstitute, man. They'll consolidate. There'll be something else or whatever, right? And it's just like, you know,
So, dude, look, I mean, I completely agree with you. You look at the targeting of, you know, Hassan Nasrallah, okay? Case in point, I mean, this is a guy who has been the superhero of Hezbollah for, oh, about 45 years, 40 years. Like almost since its founding, he's been either the top guy or the second in command, but always the most beloved, always the best speaker. And this is a group that is deeply rooted in 12er Shiism, which has in places one could argue an inordinate amount of importance on singular figures, especially their imams. Okay, and he got killed, and is Hezbollah just been destroyed? No. So if that happens in that context, how is it gonna be like if you killed Putin or Maduro, or if you killed, you know, like it's like, dude. Not if you kill Ronald McDonald, McDonald's doesn't, you know, spontaneously combust in flames. You know what I mean?
I think if you use even that example with the Goyim Americans, they still wouldn't understand what you're talking about. I literally think it's that bad. I think it's gotten to the
Jesus
point,
Christ.
bro. If you use that example, if it's like, hey man, if Colonel Sanders or whatever the fuck got killed off or whatever, right? The fictional character, no, not the real person. The real person passed away a while ago, right? But if you killed that guy,
Yeah.
KFC would not like combust into the. I think because we're dealing with Goyim, actual Goyim, they cannot comprehend this, man. I think that's what this is, man. That's what
Oh
this is.
Lord. Yeah.
Oh man.
That's so funny though, man. That's so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. So, all right, we got a few good sirs here. Let me see. Axmed, Sir Axmed. All right. All right. You know what? I'll make a few of you gents speakers. Invite to speak. Maybe I'll send one out to good Sir Trolley Problem. And yeah, whoever else wants to speak, send me a request. And yeah, let me see who else is here. Axman, perfect. All right, excellent, excellent, excellent. All right. No, good sirs, what do you think about this whole Venezuela thing? I'm not impressed, man. I'm looking at this and I'm going, this is Iraq 2.0 all over again. I'm seeing the same bullshit all over again, right? Nobody knows what the fuck they're talking about. They're all shooting the shit. They're like, oh my gosh, America is about to blockade China. Like, relax, man. Okay, one step at a time. One step at a time. All right, Sir Axman, what do you think?
Okay, can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
All right, so allow me to tell a thinly veiled metaphor of my own experience, which could be related to this.
Go for it,
12
man.
years ago, me and my cousin used to play in the internet cafe, and we played League of Legends. Astaghfirullah.
Oh, you used to
And
play League of Legends, bro.
I
You used to
used
play
to, I
League of
used
Legends.
to,
Get
I
out of
used
here.
to, I used to.
Yeah.
No, listen, that's besides the point. The
No
main
worries,
point is
man.
this.
No worries, man. All right.
The main point is this. He played ADC. I played in the top lane, and
Mhm.
he gets good. He gets a lot of kills, and he
Mhm.
can end the game anytime he wants. But
Mhm.
he cares more about how he can kill more and more, so he can go look good on his KDA. And I
Mhm.
explained to him, please just finish the game. I want to do something else. We can go. We can end this, and this goes on for like an entire hour,
Mhm.
and the opposing team finally catches us lacking, and they defeat us, kills everyone, and ends the game. And I was screaming on top of my lung, "You fucking idiot! What are you doing? We could have won this!" And he tells me, "It doesn't matter. I killed the most. I had like 40 kills. It doesn't matter." I go up to the history and I say, "What does it say? Does it say victory or does it say defeat?" He says defeat. And I tell him this specifically: killing and winning are not the same thing. I think this
Yeah.
relates heavily to what we're seeing right here, right now.
Yeah.
They took
Yeah. Yeah.
Maduro. They did not, as far as I can tell, they did not they did not destroy major infrastructure, the military or civilian, and they just said, "Fuck it, we won, we got this, GG." And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck is everyone talking about? Why are you all celebrating or crying like this is the end of the world? This is nothing.
Yeah. 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 I,
It's
I,
wild,
I
man.
sometimes, yeah, bro. Like sometimes, I don't know if you know about this, but I'm on Substack, right? I do some writing. Sir Konstantin von Hofmeister, Multipolar Press. He's my editor. He publishes some of my stuff on Multipolar Press. I've got my own Substack. I do that as well. Sir Kenaz and myself, we do the podcast over there as well. But like, sometimes you come across some really weird characters, right? One of the characters I came across is like this typical Westoid Goy cattle, and their attitude is, well, look, man, Rhodesia, right? Rhodesia killed so many Africans, right? Rhodesia killed so many Africans, right? And then there's like this other guy, hey man, look, France killed so many Algerians. I'm like, this is all irrelevant. France lost. Algeria was lost. Okay? Rhodesia lost. Rhodesia was lost. They're like, no man, it was all about willpower, man. If we just had enough willpower and this, that, like, dude, all that's irrelevant. You fucking lost, right? And as Sir Axman was saying, what the fuck does the final screen say? Does it say defeat or does it say victory, right? And if it says fucking defeat, what the fuck are you talking about, man? What the fuck are you talking about, right? And so you look at this crap and you just go, are we just dealing with the fucking petulant children over and over again till till this whole thing crashes and burns? Is this how America dies? Is this like death via cape shit? Is this what we're dealing with,
Dude,
right? That's what it seems like, bro.
that's the
That's what it seems
perfect
like.
way. It's literally people are just going to slowly lose their livelihoods and their wealth and their way of life and eventually they're going to, buy the 4th of July hamburger, but it's going to be made out of like, bugs or whatever. And they're going to say, but this is the best, this is the highest quality. This is this is obviously we're still the best because we still have like a grill, and the rest of the world, they're all barbarian savages. They could never cook a
Yeah.
real burger, And then,
But
They can't
but
grill a
Naji,
bro. Yeah, bro. They are barbarian savages because they come from the unwashed, dirty third world, and they can't grill a perfect burger. But we are so fucking amazing that we have to hire all of them to do all our work for us.
yeah, but look at my kills, guys. Look at my kills.
Yeah,
Look,
that is
I
literally
don't
what.
need to. I don't need to invade. I don't need to destroy their base. I won. I got all the kills, bro.
yeah.
Yeah.
God damn.
Oh man, brother
Yes.
Naji, you live in Ohio, Pakistan. I'm telling you right now, get the fuck out of there, man. Like,
Oh yeah.
just go back to normal Pakistan.
I really need to,
Go back
man.
to normal Pakistan. It's like that place has become a shithole, man.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
man.
The Cape shit is just
Or like go to Al Muhtasim, good Sir Al Muhtasim in
South
Chile,
America,
or go to like yeah, go to like Sir Ahmed Gure in like fucking
East Africa,
Kenya,
Zambia.
Somalia, wherever the fuck he is. Yeah, where the fuck he is, right? But like this is just bullshit at this point. It's like, you know, what was that number? 38.3. What do you gents think? Do we get to see $40 trillion of American debt before February rolls up based on this bullshit that they're doing right now?
Oh, it'll be a month. It'll be less than 2 months. I'll say that much.
Less than 2 months, eh? Less than 2 months. Yeah. Same thing here. Yeah. I looked at the math. It's not looking good. Right. So, so fucking stupid, man. Holy shit. Oh, all right. Let's see who else is speaking about this crap. Let's go up here. 73,000 Americans are dead because of Venezuelan drug imports. Oh, so this is Tommy Robinson talking. You know about the Tommy Robinson guy, right? He's like, oh my gosh, Muslims are raping all the European girls. That fucking psycho,
Oh yeah.
right? Islamophobe extraordinaire, right? Yeah. Taking out, okay, so Tommy Robinson says 73,000 Americans are dead because of Venezuela's drug imports. Trump warned him time and time again to deal with it. Taking out Maduro is America first, right? Okay, brother Naji, what level of goyim, what level of Zog cattle is this?
Brother, this is grade A Wagyu Zog cattle. This is
Wagyu
absolute
Zog cattle. What?
grade A,
Absolute Wagyu.
some of
Okay.
the finest.
Oh,
I mean,
okay. So, Sir Trolley,
I wouldn't even cook that myself. I would let a professional like Malcolm cook that, something like that.
you would let a fucking professional grill the beef. All right, that's amazing, man. Oh dear. Okay. Okay. Trolley problem and jar. Good sir says, can't wait for Trump's guys to release another AI slop. Quote, mission accomplished, unquote video. I'm old enough to remember they actually once upon a time had warships. They could shoot those videos. Oh, man. Oh man. Now that all they've got is the fucking AI and the fucking like fake shit. Yeah, no, okay, that makes sense. Oh man. God.
Dude, I'm honestly, this is one of the happier days I've had in a while, because now at
Yeah.
some point we are going to be able to see Nicolas Maduro, who is one of the most
Yeah.
colorful anti-imperialists since Chavez, we're gonna see him in court, and he's gonna be able to make a statement in front of the entire US, calling them all dog cattle and calling them all Cape shit, and it's gonna be one for the record books. I mean, he's gonna rival Ahmadinejad by the end of this whole process, I hope.
hmm
If he gets a chance to speak, which I believe he'll probably will. He's a fucking president, so.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of Cape shit takes. Some of them are saying, well, man, this is why Venezuela should have gotten the nuke. If you had a nuclear weapon, nobody would have attacked you. This is all bullshit, by the way. Um, the reason we know this is bullshit is because Israel got the bomb shortly before the Six-Day War. It did not stop Egypt from invading them, right? Similarly, South Africa had the bomb. It did not stop these various guerrilla forces from attacking them. Similarly, Rhodesia was close to having a bomb. If not, they already had a bomb. They still didn't use it against like the bomb and like the nuke. It doesn't stop aggression against you, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I mean,
Uh,
I think there's a level of it does give you some kind of parity against
yeah, yeah, yeah,
some state actors, right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, if you're like Rhodesia, what are you gonna drop a nuclear bomb in a jungle in the middle of nowhere and
On your own
on your
territory,
own
by the way.
territory?
You have to drop it. You have to drop it on a jungle in your own territory,
Yeah,
and the radiation's gonna hit your own population and military facilities. Yeah, sure, bros, go for that,
right.
right? By the way, this is the reason why I've never believed in the bullshit of like, Israel has nukes. Israel can just kill all you filthy Muslims any day now, and you're all gonna die, and this is the superior Dude, where the fuck are you gonna use the nuke, huh? Are you gonna use it on Palestine? Okay, so the nuclear radiation hits Tel Aviv and a couple 100,000 people perish. Sure, man, go for it, right? Okay, are you gonna hit Iran with it? Okay, so then Pakistan hits you. Like, what the fuck is your? There's no strategy here, man. What's the strategy, right?
The only strategy
Yeah,
is
yeah,
literally psychotic people who like
yeah,
really the only strategy Kim Jong Un has that is like quite effective in my opinion in like the Western mindset
yeah, yeah,
is that he plays this like evil dictator role so fucking well, dude. Like he'll just like
yeah,
start
yeah.
yelling about how he's gonna shoot a missile at Japan and he can strike California, and
Yeah.
then everyone's like, oh, this guy's fucking crazy. He might actually do it, you know? And it's like, well.
He's not, bro. He does that. Kim Jong Un, when he says stuff like
It's
that,
so
you
funny.
know he's making shit, bro. He's making shit up, man. He doesn't give a fuck about Japan, right?
Oh
He
god.
doesn't give a fuck about Japan, right? The
Same thing
only
with the
thing he cares about,
Kahanists, right? The Kahanists in the Israeli government. Some of
bro.
them are crazy enough. They
Yeah,
actually might fucking just blow up the world. Like that might be like their wet
yeah,
dream. It's possible. But
yeah.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's possible. It's possible. No, but all I was saying is that it's not gonna happen, right? Like all he has to do, right? All he has to do is do the same thing he does with South Korea, which is do nothing and win, right? South Korea has a cratering fertility rate, because the society is like vampiring. It's a vampire society, right? The old people are vampiring off the young people, right? And
Yes, yes.
so and so they just have to be like, okay, man, we just have to do nothing and win, right? All you old people are gonna ruin all your young people. The population's gonna collapse, and we just get the entire country for free, man, right? Okay, what does South Carolina line say? Let me see. Lindsey Graham is already talking about overthrowing Cuba's government, and Trump is talking about military operations in Mexico. Welcome to the global war on terror, Latin American theater.
It's like a
God,
new Call of Duty
I
just
fucking
dropped.
love this, man.
Holy
Trump
shit.
should do it, man. He should fucking do it, man. He should fucking do it and just like implode the economy once and for all. Let her ride, bros.
Unbelievable, dude.
Oh my
Unbelievable.
gosh, man. Yeah, yeah. I actually want this to happen. Just cause like I was so bored by the Venezuela thing, I'm just like, yeah, man, just like ride it hot, right? Just go full tilt. Cuba, Mexico, fucking attack Colombia as well. Why the hell not?
Dude, just
Right?
just imagine people like just imagine how
Yeah,
many people in the southwest of Ohio, I'm sorry, of America would go.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
One sec.
No worries, man. No worries, no worries. If you have technical difficulties, don't worry about it.
No,
Right.
sorry. So some guy just came up to me, some FedEx driver. I'm about to go for a run, so he was just seeing
Oh,
if I
okay,
was all
you're
right.
going for a
Because
run. You're going for a run.
yeah,
I should probably go
yeah,
to the
yeah,
gym as well. I should probably go to the gym as well or something. Yeah,
yeah,
but
man.
no, no, man. Like
There's
it's
so many
just like
Latinos in America. Like that shit would just go nowhere, man.
yeah, bro. Uh,
How fast would you lose the Mexican vote if you dropped,
mhm.
a bunch of drone strikes in Mexico and destabilized Mexico? How many more immigrants would come across the border one way or the other?
Yeah,
Fucking insane, man.
yeah, yeah. Oh dear. I'm just like, get me a global war on terror Latin America edition. that I can actually get excited about, not something bullshit like this, right? Okay, good sir Will wants to speak. I'm gonna approve him, let him speak, and in the meantime, gents, I just gotta take care of something, right? So I'll be back in a moment, so don't worry about me being silent. All right, go ahead, Sir Will. I've approved you.
Greetings, gentlemen.
Greetings, good sir. Go ahead.
Hello.
Well, I just want to start out by saying I fucking hate Goyim. I really fucking do. It's not even really a meme anymore. The average American...
Good sir, you're in the Goyim hating zone. So go on right ahead, let it rip. No fucking no fucking whatchamacallit, inhibitions. 1000% pedal to the metal, 200 miles per hour. Go for it.
Americans are fucking cattle. Okay, they just are. Okay? We bitch about what our government does, but none of us want to actually put the pedal to the metal and do something about it. Okay? We don't have a Soviet Union anymore to keep us in check. We don't have a Maoist China anymore to keep us in check. Don't get me fucking started on Iran. I'm sorry. Them Uyghurs are fucking retarded. Okay? Retarded. Okay? And Donald Trump is doing all of this to distract us from the fact that this Uyghur, Donald Trump, is an evil ass pedophile. He fucks children. Okay, he fucks children. He kills children. Okay, the Mossad probably has videos of that guy fucking infant corpses. Okay, and everyone in the U.S. military is a murdering sack of shit. If you see a homeless veteran, take his cup full of coins and piss on him. Give him fentanyl even. Just be like, hey, Sergeant, hey, buddy, you want me to thank you for your service? Take some fent. Okay? That's what fentanyl is. Allah's punishment. Cracker remover. That's my term for fentanyl. Cracker remover. God fucking damn. I hate Americans. I fucking hate Americans so fucking much.
Brother Naji, what do we say to that?
We say that is the righteous indignation of a man pushed to his limits by the Goy cattle.
I am just like, it's been like 2 years of me, like this ain't even about me. I'm not the one suffering this, but I'm like watching, like for the past 2 years, children get like burned up, get fucking exploded into pieces by a bunch of kikes on my fucking feed. Okay? And the average American can't bring themselves to do anything about it. No country has the balls to do anything meaningful against the U.S. Not even China. Okay? Not even China. China cares about its own trade, its own money, its own fucking pockets. Okay? We live in a world run by fake demons.
That's the
Very
money
true,
shot.
good sir. That's the money shot. No, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the only real people who fight against the empire, the evil empire, whatever you want to call it, I mean, nowadays people have a word for them. They're called terrorists, right? They're called terrorists and whatnot. But again, one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. But that's what it is, man. I mean, China's gonna save the world. Russia's no man. Look, they're state actors, right? I never bought into that narrative of like China and Russia are gonna do this, multipolar world thing or whatever the fuck, and it'll be no, dude, that's bullshit, right?
It
The
is
world is
bullshit.
They
it's
they couldn't
bullshit.
even
Here's
save
another thing
they
I
couldn't even
fucking hate
save
hearing.
Bashar al-Assad, dude. They couldn't save that pencil neck fuck. So
No, they could. Here's another thing I fucking hate hearing. I hear people saying, well, the U.S. is doing this because they're declining. Declining? No, we're fucking not. Okay? Yeah, we're fucked at the moment. Like, economically, we're fucked, but we're nowhere near decline. Not for a long shot. Okay? The only people who can actually do anything to make this country decline are the American people themselves. We have more guns than fucking people in this country. A gun for every man, woman, and child. And we let ourselves get ruled by a bunch of evil ass pedophiles. And the only time we use those guns is to shoot children in elementary schools. God damn.
Yes,
Why?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, in terms of like the armed population, right? Like, I don't expect America to survive when the inevitable dirty wars begin. The entire place, like, hey man, everyone is armed, hooray! No one can invade us. I'm like, okay, so that means nobody has to invade you. You just have to start shooting each other. From like, and see, the thing is, it doesn't even have to be like, oh my gosh, the pedophiles rule us, and I am morally upright, and I'm going to like, no, it's just gonna be like, military coups and stuff, not for like higher purposes or whatever. It's just going to be like, okay, you're not paying us our salaries. We bombed a bunch of women and kids in Venezuela. Pay us our salaries. And, one day, because the economy is fucked or whatnot, it's going to be unable to be processed. And that's all she wrote, man. I mean, the Soviet Union, technically speaking, was not declining in 1985, 1989, right? Like, Gorbachev basically ruined the entire thing because he pushed a line of dominoes which ended up, falling in a certain direction. I expect America to have the same thing happen to them, right? And at that point, I don't think you're going to see the same ending for the Soviets that you did for the Americans, which is that, at least in the Soviet case, the dissolution was relatively peaceful. Yeah, there were some scuffles here and there. A bunch of, like, bad things happened. But America, man, it's going to be multiple waves of dirty wars.
Let me just use an analogy here. The Troubles. Okay? Americans do not have the kind of principles or convictions for something like the Troubles to happen. You see how quickly the American general public opinion on immigration quickly changed? You notice how quickly it changed? You went from like 2024, you got 50% of Americans supporting mass deportations, and then it's like, oh, wait, now 79% of Americans want more immigration. Retarded faggots who believe in nothing. Do not believe in society, do not believe in anything. They just want their treats and their burgers. The average American is like, my burger is too expensive. Heil Hitler. I'm voting for Trump. Oh, wait. I did not think that Trump would kill this many brown people. No, no, no. Also, my burger's still expensive. God
That's
fucking
actually,
damn.
yeah, that's actually excellent because, like, that's literally what that is. It's like, it's just hedonic treadmill, man. It's hedonism and the treadmill. That's what this is. It's just like, give me my fucking benefits. It's a society which vampirically feasts on the young to keep the old alive. And like you said, good sir, it's all about the fucking treats. That's all they care about.
Yaki, yaki, yaki. I know you were a Nazi and I can't co-sign that, but you were spitting.
Oh, dear. All right, Brother Naji has already spoken his piece. Sir
Okay.
Axman, what do you say to that epic, truthful rant by good Sir Will?
I mean, so Will really put it beautifully when he said that the troubles couldn't happen in the United States because the American people are not, to put it frankly, a principled people. They have no
Exactly.
real sense of conviction. Most American Christians, I mean, they're more blasphemous than Satanists are. And
Bro, if you go to the churches, if you go to the Christian churches, especially the big ones, they literally have like pythons and boas, and they're on stage speaking to them in tongues. It's like a satanic ritual that they're doing, man.
So, as you said, I think that what it would take for something like the Troubles to occur to the United States would be a complete catastrophic collapse of that would be caused probably by the AI bubble when the main driver of the U.S. economy no longer functions and inflation just skyrockets up to the fucking moon. Americans are just gonna straight up kill each other after that.
I
They're
mean,
already
I
killing each other. They're
right
already
there.
killing each other. Yeah. I mean, the number right now, deaths of despair is at 250,000 a year, and it's going up exponentially, right?
Good,
In
good.
order for that number, I mean, some people have done some modeling, and they're like, okay, well, if America were like Russia in the 1990s, which was like the lost decade for Russia, what would the number need to be? It would be like 2 million. right? And it's like, oh, well, 250,000, it's nowhere near 2 million, therefore America's not in collapse. And I'm like, okay, but the number is going up exponentially, right? Probably within the next 10 years, it's going to go up to over 2 million a year, deaths of despair, right? Which is like, I mean, if they actually do start this like global war on terror Latin America edition, all right, okay, well Venezuela, and we're gonna do this brute attritional war here. We'll fucking attack Mexico over there. Maybe we'll also sneak in some attacks in Colombia and Cuba over there. I'm like, whatever, man. I mean, at that point, you're just accelerating the inevitable. Well, it's a fitting end, I think, for the evil empire, right? Wouldn't you say so, Brother Najee? Oh, he's probably
Yeah,
AFK.
no, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, no
Oh
worries,
man,
no worries.
I think the point about the troubles, man. It's like, dude. So let's say that we reach 1.5 million deaths of despair. Every family is affected. All of this is happening. Who? No one even has the capacity to like create like a concerted effort to you know uh do a couple of attacks in Manhattan or something. Call them beforehand and say, hey, your building is gonna, you want to demolish it anyway, right? Because there's a CRE crisis, so we're helping you along with that. So you better get out of Dodge, and in 15 minutes that thing's coming down. That kind of thing is what happened all the time in the Troubles. People don't remember the specifics. It was a bunch of disgruntled Irishmen who would drive vans full of explosives underneath big, buildings in the middle of London and just be like, hey, yeah, your bank is it's going to go bye-bye in about 15 minutes. You should probably evacuate. It really didn't kill that many people. There were some very violent events, don't get me wrong, but it was like it was, I'd say, about as gentlemanly as an insurgency can get. The U.S.
Yeah,
we don't have
or-
like Catholic principles, we don't have like first principles
No,
where
no,
it's
no,
like,
no,
dude,
no.
we don't want to kill everybody and their families. No, it's just going to be people driven into a miasma of, hedonistic pleasure, and when that gets cut off, their narcissism is not going to allow them to, you
If
know,
if you want
uh,
to know, if you want to know
respond
what
rationally.
America, yeah, bro. If you want to know what America looks like, right? It's like the junkies without their drugs and their money. How do they behave? Well, they behave like a bunch of school shooters, right? Now
Yeah,
imagine
exactly.
exactly. So now imagine thousands to tens of thousands of those people, a lot of people like goyim, unleashed in like the suburbs, the cities, everywhere, right? And that's what that is, man. And it's like, oh well, the Rwanda genocide was awful. I mean, sure, it was awful, but wait till you see the multiple waves of American genocides, right? It's gonna make that thing look like a fucking cakewalk, right? Because ultimately, the society, like Sir Will hinted at this, and he was far more like expressive in his commentary, but this is what he was hinting at in his comments, at least this is what I gleaned from it, which is that America is not really a society. It's just this amalgamation of goyim who basically they're content with like their master being a pedophile or whatever, and it's like if that's what they want to do, man, that's what they want to do, right? And oh, as long as us goyim get our feed, our like nutrients or whatever, we're gonna go along with it, right? And so what happens when you cut off the nutrients, man? The goyim go insane, right? And they rampage around and they ruin the barnyard. So there you go.
I mean, yeah, to your point, I mean, it's like, yeah, Americans do not believe in society. It's why you'll never see anything like a genuine Nick Fuentes like America First fascism movement actually take place because Americans like don't have the principles for that. Hell, on the other side of it, you won't see, our supposed left wing in this country do anything fucking about this. I wish we could, okay? But they like their comfort. Okay? They don't want to do the shit that Sinwar was fucking doing before his death. That motherfucker, I in a good way, badass way, not in a bad way, but that dude, when he died, he hadn't eaten for 3 days. Like, this man is in the Gaza Strip. He has bombs whirring around him. He has drones buzzing above him. Okay? And he hasn't eaten for 3 days. Okay? That is a fucking man. All these right-wing faggots who always talk about how they're Bronze Age and shit, that is fucking Bronze Age. Okay? Sinwar was the most Bronze Age man of the 20th and 21st century. Okay? And that's why a lot of Americans fucking hate him. That's why a lot of fucking MAGA right-wing dipshits hate him. Okay? Because he actually fucking did something. He put his life on the line. Okay? He had sacrifice. These fucking cattle don't. Ugh, sorry. Ooh, heated.
Let it all out.
Let it all out, man. Let it all out. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. And, you know, what can I say? I told Brother Naji to get out of Ohio, Pakistan. I don't know where you live, Sir Will, but get out of there, right?
Georgia, I live in fucking Georgia, and our citizens here are a bunch of little Hitlers. Y'all want to talk about goy cattle? Man, the average white person in Georgia is the epitome of goy cattle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fucking disgusting, man. Reconstruction really should have looked like the Khmer Rouge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Oh dear, what can you do, man? What can you do?
Kill people! Okay, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Let's cool down on that a bit. Let's cool down on it a bit.
Sorry. No Fed posting, no Fed posting.
It's all
Sorry.
good, bro. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. But that's what that is, man. I mean, you know, I'm very like whatchamacallit. I use the word bored. Maybe I'll use the word contempt. I feel a lot of contempt for people who are falling for it again, right? I mean, at this point, you just like mandatory fall for it again awards, fell for it again awards for all the goyim and the Zok cattle and whatnot. But that's what that is, man. It's like, you know, what can you say at this point, right? If after 20 years of like multiple failed regime change wars and all this other bullshit that's happening, right? And, you know, like, okay, well, you know, this time, you know, the 59th attempt at regime change, we're going to succeed. What are you doing, man? What are you doing, right? Are you dealing with people or are you dealing with Zok cattle, right? So that's what that is.
I mean, this is like what I was saying earlier. It's like Americans know it's bullshit. They just don't want to do anything about it. And, you know, I don't like Europe. I don't see any good in Europe. But I've like said this to Europeans before. Just assert your fucking sovereignty, please. Like if you're the UK or Germany, okay, and you have this fucking retard Donald Trump telling you about your country. Look, I obviously hate the UK and Germany, but they've got much more historical richness to themselves, bad or good, than the US ever had.
But they
Like,
have no sovereignty.
Mm-hmm,
they
mm-hmm,
have
They
no
have
sovereignty.
no they have no digital equivalents of a Facebook, Meta,
No,
or
no.
anything that can anything dissemination of information.
mm-hmm.
And when you have been allied with the United States for such a long time,
Yeah.
it becomes impossible. It's easier to imagine the end of the world than the end of the U.S. world order.
Mm-hmm,
There you go, and that's a damn tragedy. I may not live to see socialism in my lifetime, but you know what? As long as I get to see the US fucking crash and burn, that's okay with me. I like that's one thing about me is that, you know, you spend, you know, the past, I don't know how long. I've basically been into economic central planning since I was about 16, varying like certain political beliefs and whatnot. But honestly, I always thought socialism was the way to go. And you think about how that's going to come about, how we're going to achieve that. And at this point, well after Gaza, I'm like, you know what? Obviously, I want socialism, but you know, I think we just need to like stab this beast in the neck before we can achieve any of that. Just like remove the tumor.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. It's all of us are doomers these days, aren't we, gents? All of
Yeah,
us are
you're
doomers
telling
these.
me, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, all right, brother Naji. What do we do with the Guim? Let me know.
This is what we do. We just start digging tunnels,
Mm-hmm.
and then we follow in the footsteps of Yahya Sinwar and Muhammad Dif.
There
Not
we
the
go.
killing civilians part, not the killing civilians part, but the using tunnels as a mechanism to
Mm-hmm.
create sovereignty
Mm-hmm.
uh, in a land. And then we say, fuck you, America. I mean, this. fuck you, go cattle. If you just have to, you have to like pledge allegiance to not be a goy or something in order to
Mhm.
get into the tunnels.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then we let America collapse, and we emerge
Mhm.
from the tunnels,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
there you go.
Mhm. Very creative resolution, brother Naji. I don't know if the feds are going to approve of what you just said. So there you go.
Yeah, well,
Put a bullet in my
Oh
fuck.
dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, this
I
is
mean, if you're not
just.
allowed to dig a tunnel in the year of our Lord 2025 in America, I mean, that's
I
come
don't
on,
think
man.
you're allowed to dig a tunnel, man. I don't think you're allowed to dig a tunnel.
I mean, what if it's a secret tunnel?
What
We
if
won't
it's a
know about
secret tunnel under New York City? Sure, man.
it. Did anyone ever get arrested for that shit? Or they just,
I don't think they did, man. I don't think they did.
good lord.
Yeah.
I mean, good. I hope no one got arrested. Those tunnels were cool as fuck. That's how we were living thousands of years ago. If New York didn't arrest them, then that's one thing I can hand to New York. They understand ingenuity.
Mhm.
Yahudi ingenuity.
It would be funny if Zoran like pledged like a substantial chunk of the budget to create more tunnels under New York. That'd be really funny. But no, there's something about values. You're talking about Germany and the UK
Mhm.
rising up, and I appreciated your vigor. Some of the
Mhm.
comments you're making were not exactly Islamic because I'm a Muslim, but appreciated the vigor. I was running while you're talking about Sinwar, and I was like, oh, I just gave me that second win, baby. Let's go. But
Mhm.
the value system in Europe, it's like even further along than the U.S. I think. I mean, you
Yeah,
have
man.
people who are they're just going to gay German sex parties with like
Yeah,
stim sex and all this,
Mhm.
and they don't what I think 16% of the country said they would fight if Germany was invaded.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's so.
16% if they were invaded, right? Think about it doing anything at like what 2% of the population would actually fight in like a foreign adventure. I mean, they're just weak. They don't have any resounding like structural beliefs that
Mhm.
push them to take action that's outside of their immediate sort of
Yeah,
Mhm.
reptile brain. I
Mhm.
mean, it's really sad to see because as you pointed out correctly, I mean they some of the greatest science, some of the greatest philosophy, some of the greatest music, all of this has come from Germany, the UK,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
say what you will about them, there's plenty of faults, but dude, like what is coming out of those countries now? Like I
fuck
don't even know. Like
it.
almost nothing. Like it feels
Yeah,
like there's literally nothing coming out of them that is in any way like beneficial to even the Western society, let alone the wider world. I mean, maybe I'm a little
Yeah, yeah.
being a little smug or being a little ignorant or something, but like you don't see like you don't
Mhm.
see much, man. I mean, well, we got Harry Potter out of the UK, and we got like well, I mean, that's not exactly like go to, you know what I mean?
I think at this point, man, it's just, you know, what's that expression? Fake it till you make it, right? So it's like, it's them telling everyone, hey man, we're still relevant. We are all this, that, and the other thing. And then people are just like, okay, well, but none of that's true, right? I mean, you can go to Paris, right? What did they used to call Paris? Paris, like, capital of France, city of love, or
City of
whatever.
Lights, City of
City of
Lights.
light, city of love. None of that's true, man. None of that's true. Like, you can go to like fucking, you can go to like fucking any of these like second rate or even the third rate Chinese cities, right? The tier three Chinese cities. They have way more lights than Paris, man. They got way more
Yeah.
lights, right? They got way more lights. They got way more industry, right? I think China's gonna grow forever? Probably not. Most likely not, actually. Uh, but they got lights. They got industry. They got these things. Does Paris have them? No, they don't, right?
You
And,
you
and, and
just you brought up China. That's an interesting. If I can interject really quick, like
yeah, go for it, man.
I mean, even dying civilizations like Japan, at least they're dying gracefully. Like
Hmm.
they're dying in such a way where they're still producing things. They still
Hmm.
have decorum. They still have very clean, beautiful cities. They still make great food. They people still want to go there and enjoy.
Hmm.
Whereas, like, who wants to go to Berlin, dude? Like,
Hmm.
and eat a bunch of sausages? Like, what was even the point?
Hmm.
you go
Like,
to Berlin for the Syrian women. That's what you go for.
that,
right?
that's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. All right. La Raza Respecter, aka Sir Malcolm, says, Maduro offered to step down months ago. The U.S. deployment was burning through $1 billion a day. It had to be ended. So the U.S. accepted a deal they had been rejecting for months and fired a tomahawk at the grave of Chavez in order to get B-real footage. Yeah, that's basically correct. That's basically correct.
That's exactly what we were saying. I mean, that's exactly what we boiled this down to.
Yeah,
You know, if, what are they going to do? They had to do some cake shit or
yeah.
some be real, you know,
Hmm.
and they already had the
Maduro,
ability to. Yeah, Maduro was already like, dude, I'm not even gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
go with you willingly. Like, just give me, you know, let me get my briefcase, guys. That kind of
yeah,
stuff.
but the
yeah.
oddest thing is, the oddest thing for me during all of this was the fact that Maduro may be gone, but his regime, as of right now, is still in charge. And the opposition suggested that, hey, he actually went along willingly to a certain extent. So if all they did was just burn through $1 billion, then this might be the biggest kayfabe or what I called it before. What did I call it before? Pump fake. Yeah, the biggest pump fake of this decade.
Oh,
Hmm.
dude, were you here, Sir Oxmed, when we were discussing this earlier? Because you hit the
Yeah,
nail on the
yeah,
head, man. Yeah,
yeah,
bro,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
exactly it. Like, dude, they're dumb Nobel laureate Peace Prize winner. This ugly, you know, ugly something. I'm not even gonna use the word. She is in fucking Norway. They pulled her out 3 weeks ago. Why would
Hmm.
they? They don't have a plan. These people are fucking idiots. All they're doing is going to the goy cattle in the U.S. and saying, "Look, dude, we just took out the commie evil dictator of Venezuela, who he was a drug lord and he had our oil when we took him, and we took his wife because you know
Hmm.
fuck that. You know, it's like, well, you didn't do anything. There's no plan for creating a regime that's pliant and concerned with your interests. There's no even, you don't even destroy their military. You did literally nothing. I think they took out one like book
Hmm.
SAM system or something. Like they did literally nothing. All you've done is put a semi blockade that didn't even work because the Russians sent a ship to go escort that oil tanker that's going to China. Like,
Hmm.
what are you even doing? What like it's just
Speaking of
flabbergasting,
China,
man. We used to be
speaking
able to
of
do
China,
evil, you know.
yeah. Speaking of China, although the citizens has been advised to leave the country, the national organizations are still there. They're still operating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
wild that he was dude like 2 hours before he got you know pulled out of there. He was meeting with a Chinese delegation, you know, like a trade delegation. They had like hundreds of bilateral trade agreements, points that they were going to make, and
Hmm.
it's like damn.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, you know, the Chinese delegation was there, I think, 2 or 3 hours before the bombing began, right? So something's
Yeah.
going on there. Something's going on there. Um, yeah.
What do you guys
Other than
do? You
that,
guys think? Do you guys
yeah.
think? We've seen this floating around on the Twitter. Do you guys think that they're trying to shore up their potential oil supplies and generative capability, even if not in the short term, but the long term,
How are
in
they gonna
order
do it,
to?
man?
I
Yeah.
I know, I know. I mean trying. When I say trying, I mean trying, not like, it's perhaps they get a better oil deal from the rest of the Maduro regime or something like this. But all
So
I'm saying,
okay.
in
Yeah.
order to then
Yeah.
go
Yeah. Yeah.
attack
Yeah.
Iran and not have the same issues that where I'm going with this.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the deal, right? Venezuela has the largest proven reserves on the planet, right? It's a very
Yeah,
large number. I think like over 300 billion barrels
yeah,
or something, right? Uh,
yeah,
the reason that that thing has not been tapped into is not because of, oh my God, socialism or whatever, right? Like it's not a retarded reason like that. The reason for it is that the oil is relatively very, very poor energy return on investment, right? So roughly you will have to use about 1 barrel of oil in energy terms to dig out 4 barrels of oil overall, right? So, okay, that doesn't sound so bad until you realize what that actually means, right? At the beginning of the 20th century, if you went to any of these like conventional oil places in America or wherever, I think the number was 100 is to 1 or like 200 is to 1 in some cases, right? So one oil of energy equivalent needed to like dig out 100 barrels or like 200 barrels, right? Long story short, the Venezuelan oil is very, very, abundant. That's true, but it doesn't really like get you much, right? I mean, you're talking about very, very energy intensive work. You're talking about literally, okay, well, we are gonna bring in all these technicians and these engineers and whatever, and we have to guard them 24/7 from like not getting ambushed by random like gorillas and commies in the jungles or whatever, right? It doesn't work, man. It doesn't work, right? I don't think they're trying for this. I don't think they're trying for this, right? Uh, why did they remove Maduro? I think Sir Malcolm's right. I think it's just like America was on a clock, right? The clock was, okay, well, we're losing several $billion a day. We gotta like shoot our shot, as they like to say. And if we don't do it, uh, then we have nothing to show for it. So we'll try to spin this as a victory, and that's what they're gonna do, man. I mean, the Goy cattle are gonna accept it. I don't know if it's gonna amount to anything, but it is what it is, right? So
I would like the lovely speakers and participants in the space to read some of the tweets I've sent in here. I don't agree with everything these particular people believe in. Woland in particular is an anarchist, which is cringe, and James Kirkpatrick is a Goy cattle white nationalist.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
they highlighted some things that I've thought about. It's
yeah.
like, to Woland's point, it's like we have this era where our world leaders, even the supposedly anti-imperialist ones, don't have any serious ideology. They more or less want
Exactly.
part of the global order. Pan-Africanism, is kind of dying. Same with Pan-Arabism. You know, with the supposedly communist countries, they deserve our critical support, but they're not socialist by any stretch of the definition.
Hmm.
you know, to Kirkpatrick's point, he says here the worst case scenario is not collapse or civil war or whatever else. It's that the current system just stumbles on forever, gradually getting worse and worse. And that's honestly, my worst fear when it comes to the United States, right? We look at Argentina and they've done this austerity on steroids. They're just, pressing the destroy the fucking country button. And it hasn't, collapsed, quote
Hmm.
unquote. It just really sucks there now. It's fucking miserable. And his second tweet, the state is something to be conquered. Maybe the system cannot be saved. But if it does collapse, already big if, the people who already have control of key institutions and local areas tend to inherit things, which is another thing. Even if the US were to collapse tomorrow, sort of like the USSR,
Yeah,
there
yeah,
are already people in power who are going to take the reins of what that is.
yeah. Hmm.
So if
Hmm.
the US were to balkanize, the Dem politicians or the Republican politicians would take over what's left of it.
Yeah,
You know,
basically.
I mean, yeah, I was like talking about this with like a buddy of mine once who's a black nationalist, Pan-Africanist, New Africa kind of buddy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, look, I would personally love to see something like New Africa happen in the South. And, the best way to get that is basically to see this country, fucking collapse. But the
Yeah.
thing is that if that happens, we don't have any similarly minded people in positions of power within the governments of Georgia, Alabama, etc., to sort of pick up those pieces and take in the reins. It's the same establishment Democrat shills and the same fucking Republican dickheads. So that's just something I want to like throw out there. Sorry to interrupt, but just came
Yeah,
up for.
yeah. No, you're absolutely correct. Like basically, what's going to happen is it's going to be a bunch of oligarchs, and who are going to be the oligarchs? It's going to be people who once upon a time were in the regime of the previous government. And so, okay, the entire thing fucking collapses. Oh my gosh, America is no longer a democratic republic or whatever, right? I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so what happens at that point? At that point, it's just these guys looting the place, right? Uh, okay,
Yeah.
go ahead,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, and then it turns into, well, just I mean, we've heard you say the whole breakdown many times, I believe. I mean, like you said, descends into chaos, and you have to have strong family ties in order to get through it, and learn to actually sow the land and do the hard work yourself, and create tight bonds of social cohesion to get through the rough times of the looting and the collapse. The thing that is, Sir Will, you brought up an interesting point. The one of the few ways I see to avoid that scenario, you can look at the political ideology of um, both Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and also early sort of Menshevik, Bolshevik sort of thought, where you had decades upon decades of political ideology and religious in the form of Islam, or quasi-religious in the form of Marxism, um, where just, decades of people writing newspapers, letters, pamphlets, doing education, trying to create a class of people that were ready to bring on change and ready to inherit a severe change. And let's not forget that in Russia in the 1910s and 20s, there was severe collapse. I mean,
Hmm.
way worse
Hmm.
than the Russia in the 90s, right? I mean, you had warring factions all over the place, different political parties. You had foreign states invading. You had local landlords creating their little fiefdoms in Ukraine, Russia, East, West, all over, and eventually, there was a strong enough cadre of like-minded, ideologically involved people that they could set that country into society again and rejuvenate it, for better or worse, whatever you think about. Similarly, Hamas has the idea of, first we are going to do our Muslim dawah, which is preaching, and we're going to get people and we're going to raise their values, right? We're going to have them become fans of sacrifice, social cohesion, putting God and these things above material, worldly concerns. Telling the truth, not cheating people in business, not being tribal, but being, treating people equally based on their deeds, not what they look like. All of these things, which are rooted in Islam and have a very socialist bent to them. It's not surprising that a lot of Muslims are also favor at least some socialism. And then you look at the flip side, which was the Palestinian Islamic Jihad. They're saying, instead of educating the people first, we're going to overthrow the occupiers, and then we're going to be able to establish our system, right?
Hmm.
And I think there's some interesting things to think about there, where it's like, well, what are the ways we can create like-minded value systems and social cohesion, and then move forward once the collapse happens, right? Because you can look in Gaza right now. I don't think there's another place on earth where your family is at risk of dying from cold and starvation, yet you still don't betray the people who have been fighting for you, and you go over to the other side and get how many Gazans have betrayed the people of Gaza? A few hundred out of
Yeah, yeah,
2
yeah,
million. I mean, it's
yeah, yeah.
staggering, right? In France during World War II, much nicer than Gaza, right? Like, they still had their cheese and their wine, Yeah, like a third of the country flipped to the Nazis. You know what I mean? Like there
Yeah,
was,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
it's just something to think about. You need people who are value driven and who are have a collective ideology and spirit,
Hmm.
and you need strong spiritual people first, and then from there you can actually make some change. It's not just about, you know what do we do, woe is me, the collapse is coming. It's like, well, there's things to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, speaking of which, here's an interesting one, right? And Sir Will was sharing a bunch of these quotes around. Here's one by Tacos and Airplanes. It's one of these like Goy Cattle comments. Okay. The US just straight up abducted the leader of another sovereign state. Can't wait to see the multipolarity / US decline guys explain this one away. Alright. And then Sir Borzai responds as follows. Okay. You need an explanation for how a declining superpower can beat up a crippled, isolated, and sanctioned country 1/10 of its size. All right, and then he puts up a meme. Okay, this stage 2 cancer patient just pushed an old man in a wheelchair down the stairs. Explain that one. Decline cells. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of these. I concur. I concur fully with what was just said with regard to this particular way things are developing. events are very interesting, but they're kind of like developing in a very, very predictable way with regard to how people are trying to like market this whole thing. Yeah. So you are right, Sir Will, about everything.
I am unfortunately right about a lot of things, and it sucks. I wish I could just be another babbling schizo possible autist just rambling on Twitter. But no, this is really the reality that is the great Satan, and it sucks, and I hate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What can you do? What can you do? With that being said, gentlemen, what, 1 hour, 40 minute spaces? I think we've gone on well enough. We will have to wait a bit because I want to cut this one short just because like we don't know all the facts yet. Once they appear, we can probably comment more on this, right?
Okay,
So
for
maybe
me.
let's cut it short here, and we'll do this maybe some other time, maybe a couple days later. Let it ride. Let the rice
Sit
cook.
back and observe. Not everything needs a reaction.
Exactly. Sit back and observe. There we go, gentlemen. There we go. Any of you good sirs want to make some final comments?
Nope.
We're all good here?
Nice to talk again, Ahnaf. I know you had a little break, but it's been good to have you
No
back.
worries,
Right in
brother
time
Najee.
for the insanity.
Happy to hear your voice again after many weeks. Happy to hear your voice again. I appreciate it. Okay,
Yes.
thank you, gents. Thank you. And with that being said, I will cap this one off with my usual words and send it off to Sir Kenaz. You know what they are, but I will repeat them nevertheless. The doom cometh. See you, gents.
Your soul is mine.